I still remember the deafening applause that night, the kind that makes your ears ring and your chest ache, as my father, Edward, handed the microphone to my brother, Brent, the so-called genius behind the Aries system. Brent, who couldn't code a single line, a gambling addict who treated company accounts like his personal casino. Edward leaned close and whispered, his smile cold as ice. "Don't make a scene, Mia. You're just the mechanic. Mechanics don't get equity. Now smile, or you won't even get a severance package." I didn't scream or cry. I simply placed my security badge on the mahogany table, a soft click unnoticed over the cheering, and walked out past investors, champagne, and $1.2 billion worth of technology that was about to become paperweights. Sitting in my 10-year-old sedan, engine cold, I listened to the muffled bass from the celebration inside and reflected on the decade I had spent as a ghost. My name is Mia. I'm 32, and for 10 years, I had been the invisible force keeping Ares MedTech alive. Every line of code, every safety protocol, every FDA compliance log bore my fingerprint. Brent was the figurehead, but I was the architect, the safety net, the one who made sure nobody died and nobody noticed his mistakes, working 18-hour days while he reaped the glory. Why did I stay? Because Edward had taught me that love was conditional, that my value was only functional. I remembered winning the state science fair at 12 and being ignored because Brent needed fixing. "Your brother is the statue. You are the pedestal," Edward had said. And for years, I was invisible, holding everything together while they took the credit. Until one day, it finally became clear that the pedestal could walk away. My hands, the hands that wrote the code, held the key to everything. When the daily automated prompt from the Aries central server arrived, I didn't press accept. Instead, I pressed decline. Instantly, the Aries Mark IV prototype froze mid-piano sonata, FDA alarms blared, and investors stared in horror. Brent panicked, tapping furiously on a console that no longer responded, and Edward realized too late that the green button that had kept the billion-dollar empire running was now out of reach. His calls, screaming, pleading, even my mother's guilt-laden sobs couldn't change the fact that without my biometric approval, the system defaulted to safe mode, halting every device. I drove back to the lobby, expecting negotiations, apologies, or bribes, but instead, Edward was calm, far too calm, and the FBI stormed in, handcuffs ready, framing me for corporate espionage and ransomware. Investors gasped, Brent grinned, and my parents played their roles perfectly. Yet the lead investor noticed the truth. The logs weren't hacks, they were federal compliance audits. Removing me, the only licensed regulatory supervisor, had shut the company down legally, exposing fraud, falsified data, and illegal operations. Edward and Brent's empire crumbled, liquidated, and bankrupt. Brent went to prison, my mother begged, and I returned only to buy equipment for my new firm. Edward screamed futile commands while I walked away, sunlight hitting my face, unlocking my servers, reclaiming my name, my license, and my future. Sometimes the only way forward is to let the wrong system collapse and build your own empire from the ashes. The world tried to erase me, belittle me, and chain me to their breed, but power isn't money, it's control, knowledge, and courage. Stand firm, fight smart, and trust that justice eventually catches up.